Recently, one of my sons was asking me a question. There was a teacher that I was listening to on the internet, and I heard a message he gave about why we need a redeemer. And I thought the message was wonderful. I thought he was very moving, very touching. And so I started looking for more teachings and sermons from this teacher. And like all people, if you get to know someone well enough, you will see things that you may not like, or hear things that you may not like. This particular fellow adheres to the doctrines of Calvinism. He believes that we do not choose to follow God, He chooses us from the foundations of the earth. To me, I think it's misrepresenting the scripture. To me, I think it's clear that God gives every human being choice. And with this choice, He can woo us to Him, and we can choose to accept that wooing and draw close to Him. But to think that somebody might have a heart for God, but he's not one of the chosen, therefore he can't receive salvation, just sounds absurd to me. What am I trying to say with this little video? There's a scripture in Proverbs that says, don't visit a neighbor's house too often, because if you do, you'll see and hear things that you may be displeased with. We have a tendency when we barely know someone to think differently. Once we get to see that they're just humans like everybody else, they come off the pedestal, and sometimes they even fall below the normal line. We look at them and we almost with disdain, and just saying, be careful with what you see, because Romans 3:23 says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. All, even the person that you think is so wow and so impressive, has his faults like everybody else. I once heard a pastor in Jerusalem, a Bible teacher, say, people don't realize that Yeshua, that the prophets, that the people spoken of the scripture were real people. They assumed they were floating above the ground, that they were so holy. They don't realize that these people got upset stomachs, got diarrhea, some of them vomited. Probably everybody has vomited some time in their life. Even past gas, burp, whatever. These people in the scripture were real people. They weren't fake. They weren't supernaturally holier than everybody. But there was something in them that God saw, and He used those people, those vessels. And He can use all of us. We need to remember that as we yield ourselves to Him, as we say, Hineni, here am I, He can use us, and He will use us. But be careful not to put someone on a pedestal, because when you do, they will eventually fall off that pedestal, and then they will either be broken in your eyes to the point of non-repair, or you just will not want any more to do with them. Have patience one for another.